What's up, guys? Welcome to the Hard Carry, where we're carrying CDL matches from Twitch straight to you. We're here checking out Optic Texas versus NYSL. We got Lando and Studdy as casters. Let's check it out.
So it's all going to be, especially on a map like Embassy, Dashy slaying with the best. And here we go, Lando. Starting off on the Embassy, exactly what Optic want.
Without question, my friend, it is going to be a fun series. Strap in, ladies and gents. As we said, both teams trying to walk away with this series. They do that. They're guaranteed winners bracket when it comes down to the Texas Major. A lot of eyes on Optic lately, and the same thing can be said for New York. A lot of expectations on their shoulders, Jay, considering how Major 2 went for them. Wasn't good.
Yeah, Major 2 was not the best for New York. They have to now bounce back in towards Major 3. They've done a great job so far in this stage, sitting at a 2-1 record, but they have some two great matchups to close out this stage. Obviously, this one versus Optic, and the next one versus Seattle to see where they are truly at. But already, Dan Ghosty finds two from top papers. They're winning that rotation over towards P2, even with New York starting off on the better side. Only able to get 11 seconds off of that P1 Optic. Right now, a step ahead in the rotation.
Indeed, and Priesta is causing quite a bit of stir toward the back. Shotzi's going to have to try to get involved in the fight soon. The problem being is that really, he's not going to have a whole lot of teammate support. He's the farthest pushed up player. And taking a look at parking lot, any kill would be a big one. Gets the explosive damage off of Priesta. However, Subliners still here. Kismet, Soulman, alive inside of the hardpoint. Hydra, he also gets picked apart. 30 seconds still to play for, and right now, Ghosty, he is the only player near that objective.
Yeah, Ghost is the only one here, so you want to try to soak as much as you possibly can as Dashy's watching your cross. He does cut down one player, but the final 25 is going to go in favor of New York. Now it's going to come down to the rotations, where Optic statistically have been the worst on Embassy hardpoint, going against New York, who are pretty even around the middle of the pack between some of these teams. But this final 20 is going to be theirs. Optic now have the opportunity to get fully set up towards AC. Big kill coming in from Dash.
Big kill coming in from Bruce, and that's now going to set up Optic Texas with some solid control. As we said, that P2 by no means went their way. Adderley spawns, and then it ends up crashing down. And how about the crossfire that was established there from New York? You had Priesta firing over the top, and from there, the Bulldog could roam. A wonderful start to this P3. New York, another break, causing havoc early.
Oh, another break, but it's going to be Optic right back on in. They are able to find all the kills, take control of Orange, and execute that play to perfection. Because now the Swans are going to flip. New York are on a better side off the rotation over towards the next hill. But if you are Optic, this 25 is big. You just have to get this. With Skies finding that too, they might decide to put pressure on. Big nade from Priesta as Skies finds the third, already on a 4-3. Another break does come in, but look at the spawns for Optic. They get a couple close spawn towards back edge.
Yeah, and they might actually just rather decide to send one player up for this 1v1. That's going to go Shotzi's way, and understandably so. Arguably the biggest rotation comes in right now here on Embassy. It is the AC2 Office Roto. And currently it is Optic Texas with early seconds, with early time, but do they have the advantage as now it is Hydra's opportunity to roam inside of the Embassy. Skies also looking to pull off that SMG. We know how dangerous he can be in a multitude of different roles. Just feels like every time that Optic Texas gets set up, regardless of if they're walking away with the scrap, New York are making their presence felt, Jay, 15 points away from hitting a century.
Oh yeah, New York are doing a great job of just keeping the kill stacked. Right there was only two Optic Texas players off the rotation that were trying to stay alive for the longest, with more players on the side of New York, so they were able to find that break immediately. But all out pressure through back single door, putting the pressure through planners, but can't find a trade on the Priesta. So the final 20 seconds is going to go in favor of New York. Optic need to try to stop the bleeding going into towards this kitchen hill.
Oh, and Shotzi, well, he nearly dropped a deuce in more ways than one. A good little effort there. However, does eventually get found out. 110 to 37. In desperate need of an answer right now are Optic Texas. As we said, Jay, lots of eyes on these boys, considering the week that they have coming up next. They've got New York right now, and then a matchup tomorrow with Atlanta FaZe. As we said, considering how great and formed that Atlanta have been, a W here for Optic does not just feel nice, but it almost feels necessary.
Yeah, it feels necessary because you want to make sure that this roster change is the real deal, and so far it's leading to a lot of success on this kitchen hill. 25 uncontested points so far going in favor of the green wall, but it's all on the Dan Ghosty. He finds two, but that's not going to be enough. It's now Hook's turn. Hook and Shots to combine for the other two. They shut down that first push from New York, and so far this has been a stellar hold in towards Kitchen.
Yeah, well, we talked about the SMGs now put in a position to fry, put in a position where they can absolutely be their best so far throughout our first set of rotations. Hasn't been the cleanest, but boy, have they made that scoreline look a lot better, Jake, just simply at P5. So far throughout the first side, I mean, what? It just feels like for New York, breaks on breaks on breaks is the reason why they have the lead.
Yeah, Optic Texas just weren't able to set up properly around some of these hills. And you have that much time off the rotation, you got to make sure you put yourself in the best possible setup to not get instantly broken. But that's what New York were able to find some success on. Now we find ourselves on the second rotation of hard points. It's going to be New York with the preferred side towards orange, but Optic doing a great job of just keeping them off that point. Now it's time to be the aggressors. You know exactly where the spawns are going to be. 2-2 split from both of the squads, but it's an all-out scrap in the mix in towards P1 still.
It is indeed 30 seconds still to play for over at P1. Meanwhile, as we like to talk about it, bottom side of your screen, when it comes down to the next rotation, that's really what this is all about. A big gunfight victory for Shotzzy. Now should give them better map positioning. However, they still have one player that they've got to get through, and that is Priesta.
Priesta been beaming. He needs to stop that.
Dashy eventually able to poke away at him. But once he does, the rest of his teammates are already back in that respawn screen. Big play coming in from P-Dog.
And the close spawns did come in right there from Optic Texas, so it's a 2-2 split. Now they lose control of street side, so if you are Priesta, just hold down this position, wait for your teammates to get into the play. But Optic know exactly what's going on. They're setting up Shotzzy for the pinch. Now they know that all of New York, they're gonna try to break this from middle. This has been a perfect setup from Optic Texas to get themselves back into the game and potentially take the lead.
And Shotzzy is going to be able to set up Hook there for the eventual trade onto Hydra. 30 points still to play for. And if you're looking again at that minimap, as we so often are, nobody in sight right now from the Subliners. As we head in toward the ACs, Optic Texas have not just brought this game back, but now find themselves in a great position. Still 15 seconds, and so Hydra will go for the last second contest, just trying to put some pressure. And we'll see what the break could potentially look like here from Texas. We called it New York. The reason why they had that lead after the first side was because of those breaks. Now can it be Optic's turn to do it?
Hook in the back. He's got to do something here.
The Subliners comms are sounding.
Listen in.
You might want to pinch him, Pop. I'm watching cat. I'll have the close cat. Yeah, he has cat. I'm not getting this one. Shot the top. Ladder, one shot dead. Close cat dead. Pop PD. Sit down. Yeah, help me. I think it might be one there. I spawn PD though. I spawn PD. One's I hit your cat pinch. I have your top lane now. One orange. That's one. Yo, low. I got nade down too. Orange, going to hill. Right corner. Close right. One shot, that's one. Nice, go fucking one. One shot. Yeah, I spawn blue. I got naded. I'm good. There's one in close ladder. He's sign. He could go ladder or orange. Orange cutting. He's cutting orange. Outside. Hold on. Ladder weak. He jumped down. Fell down. I'll do more orange. Oh wait, no, he's still top. I spawn back, bro. I spawn PT. They're gonna be. I spawn me. One more spawn blue. Across. I got one new.
Hydra, you were one. You were 9.
One's back PD right now. Back PD? Yeah. No, he's back. One P. S1. They spawned out. Yo, they naded me for blue. Yeah, I'm playing live here. Ghosty's the only one there right now. Alright. Give me I spawn blue. They're pushing through all, I think. I think one secret. Yeah, one secret. In the back on me. Top secret. Take your time. I have it right here. In the hill. Cheers, behind the desk. That's one. That's guy. I'm saying pizza. Nice. Push out pizza. Hold down. I'm gonna go S1. He's saying hill. Yo, they can be mid lane. They can be mid lane. I have all right court. Yo, court. One shot. Top. Court tap two guys. Okay. There's two in the back on me. No one court. Yeah, he pushed on the block. Nice. 4. Yeah, stay S1, bro. Stay S1. Yeah. Back right. Give it right.
This just feels like an all-out brawl. Every hard point we see, they're just bodies after bodies after bodies being thrown at this one. New York, well, they were able to eventually find somebody on the ladder over at the ACs. They're improving, they're watching their cuts, and now they find themselves with a 20-point advantage. But Jay, and this is what we talked about. It was going to be a square up. It was going to be an all-out SMG battle. Lots of close range fights, and we're getting what we thought we would.
Yeah, we're getting exactly what we thought we would. A back of hard point. Optic only find themselves down by 10 points. But now off the rotation, a big play is going to be on Dashy, but unfortunately he does drop. Hook there for the trade. So you're putting pressure in through laundry. You're putting pressure towards back kitchen. Just have to win these gunfights. Shotzzy's able to fly on in. He's able to find the break by his lonely. Hydra's the last player up here from New York. The pinch comes in from Skies. Now it's all up to Skies. Can he stay alive?
Can he stay up? And right now he's got the teammate support, Priesta as well. That's the biggest part about this New York team, is that when it comes down to Embassy, both of their ARs have got some SMG experience, and right now they are showing it. Sky's now on 4, beginning to go on a heater, and now Texas are spawning out and are nowhere near kitchen any longer. NYSL starting to feel themselves. As we said, the flexibility of this team is definitely starting to be felt. Priesta eventually falls, and now Optic with 5 seconds left, just trying to get Skies out of the hard point. Finally, they're able to do it, but down by a decent margin. Jay, Optic Texas have got a decent hill to climb.
Yeah, Optic Texas need an outfight for a majority of this P1 time, or at least play to keep off the Subliners off for that time. Neither one of these squads want to hop on the point. You want to try to just play your kills around the map. Ghosty is going to lose that gunfight towards top paper. So now Optic Texas have to at least hold AC positioning. Hoop already stepping up. Finds us on a 5 spree before he does get shut down. But it's all about that next hill. It's all about setting up your team for that P2. Optic get a couple close spawns towards street.
Do indeed. Texas still have to be careful about not allowing for NYSL to be on P1. So far, they have not even really touched it. And currently for Optic, considering the spawns that you have, they're going to try to put in a bit of pressure at P1, but ultimately just focus in for the bottom side of the map. These kills are going to be huge. Optic Texas needs to walk away with a few. Right now on the backside, it is going to be Kismet still staying up, staying alive. As Hook ends up falling. Again, these fights are almost just being established. They're getting set up. We've got everybody aware and focused up. As it comes down to this rotation,
20 seconds
New Yorker
left
here
for
early.
NYSL.
Ghosty looking for the information, looking for the fights.
We got him off.
Tries to set it up, but he ends up dropping.
Oh man, there's so many New York players watching all the angles that they need to. They're able to win a couple of these gunfights. Last player up is going to be Ghosty. He has to try to stay alive, keep him off for this time, doing a great job of doing so. And pay attention to that game clock. There's only 50 seconds left. New York need 15. They're able to find 2 kills. Dan Ghosty's doing a great job of just staying alive, but Optic still are not getting any time. You need to hop on the point.
You do indeed. I mean, at the very least, they're at least keeping New York off of it. However, nice low-range shot coming in from Ghosty, and now it's going to be on to this rotation. They managed to find a few, and with that, this is very much doable now. The Subliners, it looked like they had all the positioning in the world, but they did not get on the point, and now this looks that much more. Shotzi ends up getting turned on as now Hydra is running rampant toward the bottom side of the AC.
Ghost Dashy's all alone.
And the other half of the SMG
that's
Dashy now left in a position to clutch as heat will fall. It is Kismet and Hydra who break almost effortlessly, as this will be a game 1 that goes the way of New York.
Oh man, if that's the way we're gonna start this series, we're in for a long one, Lando, because what a hard point between both of these two teams. New York, they were just in control of the map.
What is Hydra?
Whenever they needed to just play for those kills, they did exactly what they needed to.
Why has he got Brand?
That's a bag edge.
Full French phenom. Oh yeah, he's a French phenom.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just a little confused there. Go ahead.
Why do you have a piece of Brand?
Kind of threw me off.
What was he doing?
Exactly what they needed to do. They were in control of the spawns when it was needed, but even when Optic Texas were rotating nice and early, New York were able to find a couple kills to execute that break. Like, keep in mind, even in that final AC, Shotzi's able to pick up that kill and not get turned on by Hydra. It's probably a totally different situation. You have more bodies set up around that hill. But every time Optic off the rotation could not get the setup that they were looking for, New York found the opening in the sling, and then eventually found the break towards the very end. What a map number 1 we had, but it's New York able to walk away with it. Now up 1-0 in the series.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about, Embassy, Fortress, just a map that is oftentimes dictated by the SMGs. But it felt like Optic had the pressure on occasion. I mean, they brought it back at P5 at the first side of rotations, but as you called it, man, New York had just established that much of a lead, and then when it came down to the ACs, when it came down to the second side rotation, we thought there was a chance. We thought that there was an opportunity where they could have brought it back, but it just did not happen. I mean, it was just Hydra and Kismet running wild in a spot where, as we said, it's all about the SMGs, who's going to come out on top in this battle. That was the moment, right? That was the moment where you needed for Hook and especially for Shotzi to win those fights. They don't make it happen. And from there, New York run rampant. They close out the game. Just a wild sequence of events. But if that is any indicator, It's a good sign for NYSL, considering that we have got Fortress for a while now.
Oh yeah, definitely a good sign for New York because Hydra is basically Mr. Fortress.
Yep, Embassy, Fortress, 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 and Mikado.
Focus on. Now that you do find yourself down 0-1 in this series, I just think to talk a little bit more about that map one, Optic just have to do a little bit better on their P3 to P4 rotations because it was P3 two out of the 3 times where they were that team there early on. At that point, you have to make sure you're holding down orange. You have to know where the pressure's coming in from. Because New York, they just always found an opening through headshot. They put themselves in towards top PD. The AR is lining up. He's able to find that first gunfight. And then at that point, there's no one watching across towards top bridge. Your main focus has to be towards orange. They just couldn't win those gunfights. That P3 to P4 is what eventually cost Optic this game. New York are able to find the breaks and are able to close out map number 1. So now you have to respond. If you are Optic Texas going into the search and destroy on Fortress, where they tend to have a lot of success.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Just to quickly just put a bow on that opening hard point though, Jay, it is a little worrisome, right? That you are coming into this next search destroy down 0-1. It felt like all the communication that we were hearing, you know, whether it's been on podcasts, if it's even been on like the clips channels on YouTube, it's been talking about how Optic has looked so solid in their scrimmages. I think I even saw like last week, like Octane talking about how he just got absolutely bodied by Optic Texas in the hard points before they faced off against the Seattle Surge, all of that stuff. So what feels like the primary game mode, what feels like the outlet for the most success of Optic Texas is now out of the way. You're not going to have another hard point until game 4. Can we get there? That's another question. But when it comes down to the search destroy, as you called it, a map where Optic Texas has seen quite a bit of success on previously. I know we're talking about players, strategies, things to look out for. What has made Optic Texas so solid at this map?
Oh, it's only one answer, man, and it's all on Shotzzy. The guy's a 1.3 KD on Fortress Search and Destroy, and I'm pretty sure he's unbelievable on that map at getting first bloods. 66% of the time when he's in that opening engagement, he's winning that gunfight. They're finding a lot of success. So we know how many problems Shotzzy can, how many issues he can cause on a map like Fortress with all the jump ups in towards the single window, in towards the double window. That's a guy that you have to put a lot of focus on. And if you are Optic Texas, just got to completely forget about the last time you played this map because it was a 2-5 comeback from Toronto Ultra. You see the stat line right here from Shotzzy. He's unreal, man. Going up against the Bulldog, who's a great search and destroy player in his own right, Shotzzy just does it to a whole different level when it comes to Fortress.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And just to kind of like even highlight it more, Jay, put more emphasis on how wild Shotzi's early first blood numbers are. I mean, that is insane. The fact that he's able to sport as solid of a KD as it is, the fact that he's also winning opening duels consistently on this map, and also at the same time where, you know, I get it, it definitely favors the SMG in a lot of close quarter fights, but it just feels like for so many teams that like, you're going to figure out like where this guy is going to be able to make these routes happen, make these plays happen. The fact that Fortress is so one-dimensional and still yet this guy's able to put up the numbers that he is in the early situations, it is insane. It is absolutely wild. By far the most impactful SMG on Fortress S&D when it comes down to those opening routes. I guess alongside of Abizi, which you just have to put in any situation. But I guess when it comes down to this map, regardless, into round 1 we go. Shotzzy gonna go and bring out that TAC 56 here off the start. Gets tagged up nice and early there with a bit of utility that is tossed and exchanged from the other side. Looks to get involved in the fight again, but it is a quick bomb plant now for Subliners.
Now it's a 4v4 retake for Optic. Dashy's able to find that first blood onto Priester. Great job to also get out with your life. And Shotzzy has now put himself on towards the site. New York are great in their 3v4 situations, 34%. As Skies at least evens up the numbers, 3v3.
This is a big gunfight. Skies just trying to waste time, eventually pops out. Gets evaporated. Hydra and
they're defusing.
Able to answer, but Shotzzy, he's defusing. He is on his bomb. And does get found out. It just looked like for a moment, I mean, if somebody doesn't check it, if the comms just feel like that there's surely nobody who slipped by, there could have been a chance, but Hydra, knowing the routes, knowing the commonality of where
Shotzzy had killed Skies right there. It's not like they didn't know he wasn't on site. Come on.
Secure our opening round.
Yeah, that's just good work right there from New York to put a lot of pressure on towards stage. When they hit Shotzzy with that nade, he's the guy that's giving the information. How many players are going to cross over towards the site, but you get the bomb down, you're forced to forward for a retake. And eventually you come out on top with a great route from Kismet in that final kill. But now on the attack, where Optic do have a lot of success as well.
Hydra has the
Dashy
sizzle.
finds another first blood, already a 4v3. Priest evens it up.
Yeah, how about the early gunfight victories coming in from Bruce? Hydra, oh god, I was gonna say, I thought Hook might open up that door, fires out a shot. He'll eventually fall. Optic Texas quickly with numbers. Shotzzy going for a dolphin dive, and as per usual, stays alive with the movement.
Oh, great plays right there from Shotzzy.
What the fuck was wrong with Kismet's gun?
Eventually, I don't know what was going on with Kismet's gun in that last gunfight.
Looked like single fire.
His dash, yeah, it definitely looked like. If he had it on single fire and he was tapping like that, we gotta switch that up really quick. I thought that was an easy one, but Bruce, with the snap, finds the first blood on the round and eventually finds the final one to close it out. Optic Texas, when their own attacking round of their own, tied up at 1 now.
We're talking a lot about Shotzzy. How about Bruce? I mean, how about Dashy? Trying to answer here. The search destroyed. Didn't have the crazy performance in that opening hard point, but his presence has already been felt. And now he's going for a ride, Jake. Yeehaw for Bruce. Oh, God. He just got a bullet in the chest. Hydra says, that's my horse. Get off.
That's my horse.
Shots raiding through early. Thankfully, everybody's still up. 8 players alive, and that is about to change as Shotzzy quickly turns. Priest is dolphin diving everywhere. He's nearly been spotted by both of the SMGs for Optic Texas, but he is still alive, still thriving. Shotzzy brought low, has to back up.
Yeah, Shotzzy and Hook at least do have some arc control. As Hook is trying to find that opening, and he does so. Great first blood to pick off Skies. So now for your New York, you have to make a decision. Do we try to fight for these guys in towards art? It's not a good one as Shotzzy takes down Kismet, and now that's going to be bombed down. 2v4 situation now.
And now make it a 1v4 Priest up. Yeah, it is just a matter of time. Waving the white flag now as the SMGs run wild. Here in round number 3, it is Hook to start. It's Shotzzy, who managed to stay alive like 5 different times, it felt like, despite being low. They just run right onto that site. They win their fights, and from there, it is Optic with back-to-back rounds now.
Yeah, it's just once Optic take control of art. You allow the first SMG to get in Hook because he invested that dead silence, but then once Shotzzy puts himself in that position, a lot of your focus is all onto Shotzzy, which eventually opens up that first kill from Hook. Then it's time for Shotzzy to strike. He finds the second. Then in the 4v2, you just keep that positioning. It's not going to be an easy round to win as Optic able to chain 2 together.
A little bit of information here off the start. You notice for Dashy, ran out of spawn, quickly pre-aimed over at P1. As we said, both teams incredibly aware of who they're facing off against. Got some fiery, fast-paced SMGs who just constantly want to go. Hydra stalled out for the moment. And you can tell, man, Hook, he just wants to chow. He just wants to jump out. Everybody holding angles. As Hook waits for his chance, he's oftentimes going to wait for Shotzzy to rain out a few bullets, and from there, that is when Hook likes to challenge in from lower. However, they have yet to get that window of opportunity. Shotzzy goes for the peak. Nothing yet.
Yeah, both of these squads are trying to fill it out. Trying to make sure nothing fishy happens. You don't want to lose map controls. Now it's only 35 seconds left on the clock. Optic have to start being aggressive over towards that A site. Shotzzy's going to be aggressive in through open. Basically has Priest trapped in this corner.
He does indeed. It's going to be Hook and Shotzzy who both run on out. And now it's going to be into the 2 versus 2. Shotzzy not able to win that fight.
Wow.
Kismet will be able to find him, and Ghosty will drop on the bomb site. It felt like for Texas, they eventually had to get a move on when they begin to pretty much fire off that shot that starts that ending battle. It is New York who just win those fights. And it's Shotzzy who loses this 1v1 versus Kismet. That very well could be the round right there.
Oh, yeah, that was such a big kill from Kismet to pick that one up. A little bit of friendly shots towards the stairs. He doesn't like to walk up them. But he's able to find that kill, and I thought once Shotzzy puts himself in a position like that, he was going to make a play happen. But Kismet, with the communication from his teammates, is able to find that one and even up the score all at 2. Ghosty going to switch it up, sitting currently at 0-4. Time to whip out that big stick. Time to whip out the snipe.
Indeed, there's been a lot of talk on who's
whip out
going to
the
rock
big
the
stick,
sniper
he
for
said.
Optic Texas. Lots of highlights.
He said,
Dashy stream
whip out the
lately.
big stick.
Questions on who's going to bring it out. Ghosty saying, you know what?
Ooh.
0-4. Might as well bring out the big guns. Able to answer to start. However, the SMGs will fall. It is quickly left up to Ghosty and Dashy now, all by themselves. A 2v3 retake. And Jay, that time is ticking.
Yeah, time is ticking, and New York are already setting up for the pinch-in as they are able to find the final couple of kills. It's all about just shutting down that SMG presence in towards Art. Once you do that, you know that Ghosty has that sniper in hand. Dasher usually likes to put himself in that position towards open. And once they win those gunfights, you're allowed to flank through open and closed doors. New York with another quick bomb plan over towards A has now caused problems for Optic twice. New York up 3-2.
It just feels like, you know, Optic will have their moments. Shotzi and Hook, it just kind of feels like if they're being impactful in the round, they're winning it. When they're not, when they're out of the fights early, they're not. Early 3-2 in favor of the Subliners as Optic go back to the offensive side. Last time around, it was really just not a whole lot of comfortability when it came down to getting that bomb down. Hydra quick to reveal his shoulder, so that will instantly give a bit of information to Texas. And Shotzi, as we said, first blood master, able to grab it here. Hook also wants to respond back with a second one. Tosses out a nade. Next guys have to reposition. That will work. And Hook has got information on information.
Oh, no.
But Kismet is there.
Oh, no.
It's gonna be 3 for the Bulldog. All up to Bruce now. A 1v2. Deddy popped.
1v2, Deddy popped. He is going to get the information on towards...
Wow.
Kismet wins another one-on-one. That's
shots.
the ace on the round.
Here they come.
Oh,
man.
You knew it had to happen. Dashing with some body shots earlier. Kismet replies back with sub onto Shotzi, and now he is letting him know on a 6-spree.
Gosh.
An ace on top of it. Kismet, have your chance, my friend.
Woo! That was a 4v2, Lando. That was a 4v2, but right there, if you are Hook, I know you get the sound cues onto Hydra as you see the snap onto Ghosty. Just want to try to play your life in that situation, man. There's no point in chasing that kill. You have the man advantage, especially when you have no information of how New York are going to be playing in that 2v4. Kismet earns himself that cruise missile.
Oh, my.
And now it could change the game plan for Optic. They find him. They take him down. Dashy finds a second. Already a 4v2. Can't let this one go.
They absolutely could not. As Priest falls, okay, it's going to be a 1v4 for Hydra. I was going to say, that's going to go one of two ways for Kismet off the start of that round. He is either about to pop off or just quickly evaporate. By the way, for Paco, he's on a 5-spree, so it would be in his best intention to obviously try to clutch the round, but more than likely, you would love to just see him at least walk away with another, try to play for the kill. Don't necessarily try to play solely around that objective, but with 45 seconds left for Texas, this should be easy pickings, Jay.
It should be. This round should be very difficult, but not if you are Hydra. All your focus is at least finding one kill to earn yourself that cruise missile, so you have 2 to work with as we get deeper into this game. But he's not able to pick it up. Dashy reads it perfectly. Able to find the kill from top maps. And eventually close out the round. Optic Texas, they stop the bleeding. They shut down the second cruise missile. But now they just need to have some success on their attacking rounds. You can't lose that arc control to Hydra. You can't allow Kismet to find an ace. As now in the back of your mind, you're thinking about that cruise missile.
Yeah, you are indeed. And I mean, you said it perfectly. What
Lots
we talked about in this
body
series
shots.
is going to be on the SMGs.
Shooting
It was going to be
bodies.
on who can have a more impactful performance. We're talking about how Hydra is 1 kill away from having 2 cruise missiles, both earned from the SMGs of the Subliners. As we said, you can feel that impact early. Coming in from New York as Optic Texas able to win the swing round, and boy, did they need this to be some semblance of momentum. Shotzi for the early peak. We know Kismet, who's been so fiery, wants another first blood that he can have attached to what has overall been a solid search destroy so far for him. But a minute down, Texas still yet to really get that bomb over inside of the stage, as though to lay it down. Bomb planted.
Now it's a 4v4 retake. All of Optic are able to stay alive. Now you just have to find that first blood, and none other than Shotzi to do it. Takes down Hydra. So now in the 3v4 situation, just play your numbers, play your trades. Dashy finds the second, another 4v2. You know where these players are at, but New York, they're able to find 2.
They're able to do it. Bomb planted. Dashing. Boy, does he need this pick. He needs the pick.
Oh,
Shotzi
no.
eventually gets challenged. They know where Bruce is hiding. 15 seconds left. Can Dashi go big?
Oh,
It's
no.
gonna fall apart again. NYSL down in numbers, run firmly into the site. It is a retake.
Are we watching
and now
a breakdown?
It is a 5-3 advantage. Subliners, they cannot seem to just go away, man. Like, they will not go away.
I thought New York were better in the 3v4s, 33%. But their 2v4s might even be better than that. That is 2v4s so far in this game. 2 search and destroy at Optic Texas are gonna be thinking about, man, that's so tough. That's so tough. There's only 25 seconds left. All you have to do is at least find one or at least stay alive. But New York are able to clutch up again. And now Optic Texas need to chain 3 rounds together to try to take this map. You do have one player in shots. He puts himself in a great position already towards A, though.
See if he can be impactful in a spot like this. Is Kismet gonna check? No, he is not. Shotzzy first blood, but does end up getting traded out. You know, Dashy's also gonna be careful. You got Hydra, who's also trying to make his way toward bottom side. It is a nice nade over the top that ends up landing from Ghosty. So now it's a 3v2, Jay. At least it's not a 4v2. Can they clutch this one out now with numbers?
They have to. They have to. They're doing a great job. Good job from Optic. Just win their one-on-one gunfights. Dashy not giving up on the play for Hydra, and then Ghosty finds the final kill. Then Ghosty with the nade over the top basically shuts down the play on the side of New York once he takes down Skies. So Optic stay alive a little bit longer. Now down 5-4. But you still have that cruise missile in the back of Kismet that you still have to be worried about. So if you are Optic Texas, make sure you get your trophies out. I would like to see them go for that quick bomb plant again. This time not choke that 4v2.
Yep, see if they do it. Information gained. And how about Dashy answering off the start? Ghosty as well. Hydra at least causes a bit of a dent. So, as we said, Optic with numbers, but Hydra does not care. He's got a baguette in his hand and a McDonald's Coke sitting right in front of him. He is ready to go. Now into the 2v2.
Dashy's slowly starting to edge up. He might get this positioning as he does have that dead silence invested. So Hydra is not going to know that he's right around this corner. But Priestess is playing it safe, making sure that that bomb does not make its way over towards B. But now Hydra's getting all the sound cues that at least one player's over towards this A site.
He knows for sure. Dead silence pop. Oh, that nade is going to make Dashy have to sit down, makes him prone. And from there, NYSL. I was going to say, Weiss to technically not go for the challenge. I mean, who would have blamed him typically? But it looks like it's going to be a reposition. Hydra! Oh, no. Pokes out a little too far. And with that, it's now all on to Priesta. That bomb's going to get planted. And how does Priesta look to try to retake this? Can he get Ghosty off the bomb? Yes, he will.
Oh, my.
Now a 1v1.
Oh, no. Don't let Priesta do this.
Another clutch situation. Can he keep Optic alive in this one? As Priesta has yet to earn that dead silence. Time is starting to tick. Dashy trying to find that timing. 25 seconds left. Dashy earns that deadie. He might hit the wrap.
It's up passing the torch. This is a situation that Dashy absolutely needs. In threat of going down 0-2. He's making the routes. He's making the plays.
5-5.
Able to walk away with the 1v1 there versus Priesta. A huge one at that. Optic Texas, we're down 5-3. Have handed over so many
Don't
clutches,
shoot bodies,
so
kids.
Many 2v4s,
you shouldn't shoot
so
bodies.
Many first bloods that have not equated to round victories, but they've managed to fight back. And now we've got ourselves a round 11.
Round 11. Which has been one of the best search and destroys for both of these squads. Obviously, Optic giving up a couple 2v4s, but it's going to be them on the defensive side. You see the records for Texas. Not the best.
Ugh.
And now you have to play this a little bit slower because that cruise missile is going to open up that free plant towards A.
He's definitely going to use cruise. Yep.
Here comes the cruise missile, what we've been waiting for. And you can see for Optic, they will quickly go for the huddle. Meanwhile, Izuka will stay. So Hook's going to stay pretty much in the same position. And with that, he'll be the first one to jump forward as he jumps on in. I mean, that is just easy pickings. There for Skies. First blood
no.
Shotzzy with the
Oh,
utility toss.
no.
There's no answer. Dashy will fall all onto Ghosty, the rookie in a 1v3
NYSL.
in New York. No sweat.
Take map 2.
5-3 comeback, but they
Oh my gosh.
end up closing
I gotta start
it
making
out
dinner.
here in the round 11, and now are up firmly 2-0
BRB.
in this series.
And that was such a next level play call right there from the Subliners. You get the cruise missile to gain all the information. And then at that point, Optic are thinking, once that cruise is blown up, that bomb is most likely going to be planted. But New York knew that the pressure was going to be instantly on them. Once that cruise missile was out of Kismet's hand, they pre-aim up towards both arches. They're able to find the first blood and then eventually hold the push coming in from open. What a play call coming in from New York to not dedicate themselves all the way towards that bomb plant, which eventually they're able to find all the kills in the final round. 4 up, 4 down. Very clean round from New York to close out the search and destroy and now put themselves up 2-0 in the series. But if you are Optic Texas, man, 2 2v4s, you cannot allow that to happen, brother. That is a tough pill to swallow. Now you have to climb all the way back.
Yeah, you can't
and
let
try
that
to
happen.
complete the reverse sweep.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like for Optic Texas, you leave that search destroy. I mean, you're talking, you know, in the bathroom coming into what'll obviously be a control, and you're saying, guys, we threw that one away. We had 9 first bloods, and we lose that search destroy in around 11. A few typical plays, and it's Optic Texas who wins this one, probably in like a round 9, round 10 type of scenario. However,
All right,
not
Milo.
at all the case. NYSL
Yeah, I know. I gotta make
coming in
dinner.
with the point to prove as they improve that search destroy.
Everyone hungry.
That
I know.
much more.
I gotta make dinner.
4
It
and
should be
1
you too.
is how the record will stand.
I know.
As Optic
I know. I'm
Texas
working on
now put in a position where they're gonna have to come away with something special. They're gonna
The
need
bag
some
yet
ice. They're gonna
buff.
need
Okay. BRB. Oh, watch out. Oh, move. This one's not looking good for Optic. That's for sure. Not looking good.
Howdy, friends, and welcome back. Optic Texas taking on the New York Subliners. We're off of that Fortress Search and Destroy, and I have to read a very interesting tweet coming in from our stats guy, Tim. Before today, when offensive teams were in a 4v2 and had bomb planted, they won 97% of the time. Optic in that last Search and Destroy just lost 2 of those situations, and now we have to take a look at our scuff play of the game. One of those scenarios, Jay, that ended up happening, and it was all on to Kismet.
Yeah, it was all onto the Bulldog, man. You see right here, Hook finds that kill onto Skies, but then Hook chases the kill onto Hydra, and then eventually sets up Kismet to find 2 and then snap for the 3rd. Then with only 25 seconds left, you get the information onto Dashy. You're able to win the one-on-one. Like I said during the match, that's just a tough pill to swallow, but you see the Bulldog, he's roaring. A couple bodies being shot because you cannot allow that to happen if you are Optic Texas, which now puts New York up 2-0 in the series. All the confidence on the side of the Subliners. Optic need to find something to bring themselves back into this one.
I mean, that's the worst part, right? Is that, like, if you're Optic Texas, it's one thing if you lose a Search Destroy. It's another thing if you lose around 11. It's another thing if you allow for constant 4v2 clutches where you know you're leaving that Search Destroy guy, you know, and saying, guys, we had that. Like, we absolutely had that. So I don't know, Jay, we've been talking a lot about the, you know, the new roster, the new vibe with Dan Ghosty being in the lineup now. I mean, how many things are tossed onto his plate when it comes down to communication? I mean, whoever it has to be, whether it's him or somebody else, like, somebody's got to get these guys focused. Somebody has got to get really the attention off of what has just occurred and act as if this is just a new series coming into this control. Something's got to change.
Yeah, we just got to get some discipline, man. Like 4v2 situations, you got to think, when you get that bomb down, someone has to stick that defuse, right? So at that point, you're already in a 4v2 situation, but you got to be able to play your numbers correctly. You can't give up your life for free, but
absolutely.
You see the 2 guys on our screen. These are the 2 guys that we're going to putting a lot of focus on in control stats so far throughout Major 3. Ghosty sitting at a 1.02 compared to Skies, who's a 1.37.
Goodness.
Man, both of these guys are stellar when it comes to those KDs in control, but biggest thing that I see that stands out differently is Skies on the defensive side, 1.81. He's basically a turret, just holding down one angle and not dropping. So on a map like Fortress, you got to be able to gun them out of those tough situations.
Yeah, you absolutely have to. And Jay, now I mean, we talked about it, right? You're down 0-2. Cool. You know what? Let's say that Optic Texas, let's just get that last Search Destroy. Let's get this series out of the way. Let's load up. What do we have? Fortress Control. Okay. And we're facing off against the Subliners, who are one of the best attacking teams or one of the best defensive teams. They have one of the best records on it. Like, this is just, obviously, refocusing is one thing, but you have got to come out and just, I don't know, hit them with the haymaker a little bit. I don't know what side they're going to be starting on when it comes down to this control, but I mean, if it's an attack as an example, I think they're going to come out and show us something, because if not, the Subliners are just going to continue to walk all over them. I mean, they, like I said, they've got all the momentum. They've got all the hype right now. The Subliners have got to be feeling good as we've got double fortresses still left.
Oh, yeah, without question, because they got Mitra Fortress on the map, on their team, who I consider is the best player in the game in Hydra. He has a 1.26 overall KD on Fortress Control. Keep in mind, like, he's doing it both on the attacking side and defense with that SMG. Just his presence in towards art is a lot of focus that you have to do if you are Optic Texas. You can't allow that guy to just roam around for free. As New York, I'm pretty sure on this map, are 6-1 overall. That has to be the best record, without question, man. They are unbelievable when it comes to some Fortress Control.
Yeah, it's wild. And I know we're constantly talking about, the different stats and things like that. This has been a newer map thrown into the rotation for Optic Texas. They're 1-2 on it, and their defense has not been great on a map where defense is very, very heavily favored. But I want to get away from the stat talk, all, the negatives and things of that nature. Who do you want to see from Optic Texas really be that player? From what we've seen so far throughout this series, we've put a lot of focus, right, on the SMGs of Shotzzy and Hook. We've talked about Dan Ghosty, obviously being the new player. We've talked about Dashy. His performance so far throughout Major 3 has not at all been the way that we know he can perform. Out of these 4 players, who do you think stands the best chance, and who could be the difference maker in this control?
Oh, without question, it's definitely going to be Ghosty for me. Okay. Because you know what you're going to get out of your SMGs, but if you can get Ghosty to continue on the spree that he currently is in control, 1.02 KD, but on a map like Fortress where you need to win some of these tough engagements versus ARs towards top single window, towards top double window, to allow your SMGs to get pushed out on the attacking rounds, he has to be a guy that you have to put a lot of focus on, because he's going to have some crucial one-on-ones versus some of the best AR players that we have in the game on Fortress Control. Yeah,
absolutely. As we said, Ghosty enters in toward this team, right? You're a rookie. You're playing on Optic Texas. We've talked about it consistently, but the amount of pressure that's on his shoulders. But I know, Jay, we've been referencing it a lot. The recent interview that he had has basically said, I don't really feel the pressure anymore. Like, I have no interest in looking cool. I'm interested in winning, and that is it. Man has the desire to be one of the best players in the world, and so far it feels like he's got the right mentality to do it. Like I said, the problem has just been lately for Optic Texas getting in sync with this new team. But a lot of things right now on his mind, I'm sure. When it comes into comms, he's thinking about his own performance. He's also trying to set up the rest of the teammates to do their job as well. There is no doubt about it. When we talk about pressure, we talk about different things. Big thing for me, Jay, is just for Optic, like, just don't get 3-0'd, right? Like, don't get 3-0'd coming into your matchup versus Atlanta FaZe. We're saying that they can maybe still make it into winner's bracket if they have a 2-3 record, but you just can't get smoked. A loss here versus Subliners, it just feels like it's got all the makings of what could be a smoke fest maybe tomorrow if they don't answer back right now.
Yeah, Optic Texas needs something. They need some kind of momentum, because the worst case scenario for either one of these squads is to get 3-0 in both of your series. Obviously, New York avoiding that by already finding themselves up 2-0. And if you're Optic Texas, you just don't want to allow any of that map win percentage to come into play for you to potentially not make it into winner's bracket at your own major. But it's looking like the map is about to start. You see the stats for New York. 25% on their attacking rounds, but 88% on their defenses. You see 67% for Optic Texas on a map like Fortress. Everybody in rank play knows it's usually a free W as long as you do not allow them to get out of that trap. But Optic Texas, they tend to struggle on it. 11th on this map. They have to answer early on this one.
Absolutely. Shout out to Turtle, one of the many stats wizards in the COD scene. If Optic get swept, this would be their 5th series that's finished in the 3-0 out of their last 7. So they've been 3-0ing, or they've been getting 3-0'd, trying to rewrite the script and make a play at that reverse sweep. As we said, Jake, just try to win as many maps as possible. Just get this to a game 5, and you're going to be in a way better spot when it comes in a winner's bracket for your major. But into this control we go. Optic Texas starting things off on the defensive side, and so far it has been solid for them. No ticks, no real progression at all so far for New York.
Yeah, no progression at all for New York, but at least you do have one player in Priest that's trying to stay alive in towards Art. Eventually, he does get taken down. So now New York are set up in the trap, works right into what shots he needs them to do as he finds 2 in towards bottom maps. And now New York just have 35 seconds to try to get out of the base. Skies the Priest to open up with 2. It can start to get out of hand. Optic needs to win a couple of these gunfights. Now New York have the opportunity to stop that clock, get over towards B.
Yeah, and actually he's got the call out. Priest just runs in with no gun at all. Goes for the dolphin dive. And from there, Texas are able to adapt. They make the rotation. However, they do have 2 players inside of bottom. Cannons, Hydra, able to win that gunfight. And Shotzzy hot on his heels, trying to cut away the French phenom, as Hydra will escape and is also continuing to cause problems. And with that, Shotzzy eventually finds him. Meanwhile, for the Subliners, that distraction allows for them to get 1 segment. Can it be any more? Hook able to find 2. Hydra's presence allows for 1 segment, but that very well could be all that New York earn in round 1.
Oh, that's it. That's all they're going to get in this round number 1, as Optic do a great job of just setting up the trap. Even when New York had 1 player already out of that positioning, They put all their focus onto the players trying to get out still. Once they found those kills, they eventually wrapped back and found the final player that was trying to roam around towards Art. They just kept the kills going. I don't know what Priestley was doing right there. Ring around the rosy. But Optic Texas, they hold strong on defense, only allowing one segment, now up 1-0.
He was just allowing for that left stick to fly, man. He flew into on the other side of the map when it came down to the B zone. He's doing circles over on A. Tell you what, man, I don't mind the strategies when it comes to a fortress on offense. I tip the hat to anything and everything that people are trying to do nowadays. What is it, like a 10% win rate, I think, now, or rather, as it sits coming into the end of our Major 3 qualifiers. Regardless, we'll see what Texas can do. One segment for New York. Can Optic be better?
Can Optic be better is the question. But so far, New York had them in the vice grip. Put them early on into this trap. No players from Optic are able to seep their way out. So now you just have to work hard. You have to win a couple of these one-on-one gunfights that are not going to be easy. Try to exit your base. But they do have map control, so they can work with that. It's all about finding these kills from this position.
That's exactly right. Hook able to dolphin dive forward, so he'll be able to escape. How long can he last? Not very long, but thankfully for Ghosty, he's at least able to find one. Dashie as well, able to put in a bit of damage as Priestel will back up. Bruce continues to find kills. Can he make it another as Dashie, a one-man wrecking crew into that B zone? Can they have any bit of progress? Can they at least have something tangible? Once it comes down to these final team fights, it does not look like it. Ever so close to that B zone as they now shift focus over toward A. Can it at least amount to anything as Shotzi now pressured? New York not allowing for things to go the other way. Too close. Objectives nearly captured, but NYSL there in the nick of time.
They're ready at every moment when Optic are trying to throw something at them. As New York putting a lot of pressure, not trying to give up this one segment. They put all of Optic in towards the trap. Hook does find two, though. So there might be the opportunity that Optic we're looking for. But now you have to worry about the positioning of Kismet. Kismet finds one. There's only 10 seconds left. Skies finds another. That's 3 dead. Last player farthest pushed up is going to be Dashie. He falls. All of Optic all spawn. And New York respond with a very dominant defensive round. Also not allowing that segment. So Subliners put themselves in a nice little lead.
It just feels like historically, Jay, you know, when it comes out of control, like in prior titles, whether it was Cold War or if it was Vanguard, it's like one segment, that's nothing. Unfortunately, like that absolutely plays a factor. That absolutely plays a factor. So while it is just simply a 1 next to New York's name, that is a sizable one at that. Is Optic Texas not able to grab anything? Kismet ending out that round 2 on a spree. We'll see if he can earn that cruise missile as he's only 1 kill away. Obviously had that when it came down to the search destroy. We'll see if he can make it back-to-back games where he's able to earn the streak. No surprise as Optic Texas start things off nicely into these early team fights. It's just a matter of, can New York answer? Can they find the right timing? And as we said, can Kismet find that ever so interesting 6th kill?
Yeah, Kismet, he even switched to the TAC 56 in this situation just to find his final kill because he knows how impactful that cruise is going to be. Finds the kill on towards Shotzi. Now, New York, they do put themselves in a position to be super aggressive over towards this B point. Kismet is trying to maintain map control while his teammates are dropping all the way across the map. He's in the mix with the AR. Does not matter. He's still roaming. But now he's the only player farthest pushed up for the Subliners. You have to at least try to find an opening or allow your teammates to find some kills.
He is in rare territory. I mean, Attack off the start of this round has basically been in the position of an SMG this entire time. Optic cannot find him, thankfully. Ghosty sweat off the brow. We finally found Kismet. Problem being for Kiz is that while he's able to find the kill, he earns the streak. Just rest of his teammates just simply cannot get out of spawn. No segments yet. And it does not look likely that they're going to get a single one. Over Hook. Tagged up, not yet dropped. Kismet, he tries to go for the dolphin dive. He falls as well. Final 10 seconds. And this should be clean defense coming in from Texas as they're able to find 2. Shotzi there. Final 1v1. Kismet still up. There is definitely a chance.
Kismet still up. No trophy systems in play, though. So if you are Optic Texas, let's just spam it with our attacks. Let's not give up this segment. And I think they just gave up another one. So job well done already from New York. That's now 2 dead in the feed. If you are Optic Texas, you can't give up any more. You have to try to contest this. You don't want to let this one get away from you and allow New York to extend time by a minute. The dashing hoop, they combine for 2. Last 2 players from New York are still on this point. It's all on to Hydra. He drops in. New Optic in the final 10 seconds give up another 2 segments. So now you find yourself down by 3. But you do win the defensive round. If you are New York, you have a cruise missile to work with. If they come out and dominate the way that they did on their first defensive round, Optic Texas is going to have a tall task ahead to try to win an attacking round in that round 5.
That's exactly right. However, the last time, though, Jake, that we did see Optic Texas play a fortress
Round
control.
5.
That's right. They had a round 5 versus Minnesota where they were on attack, and they did manage to clutch up. I think it was based off of lives. Obviously, we are not there just yet, but you do have a lot of work to do. And really, I mean, hey, Dashy, 1 kill away himself from a cruise missile. Trophy in the back of the head from Shotzi. And that will not be the way that you wanted to start that one off. Dashy not able to earn the streak, and Hydra completely dominates to kick off this round number 4 on the inverse. Thankfully for Shotzi, he's able to do a bit of damage and still look to fly away, get into base, cause some problems. And that's going to be 3 down once more for the Subliners. So great start to this round. While Dashy doesn't earn the spree, I mean, it could be Shotzi who ends up earning it now.
Yeah, Shotzi finds himself in a great position. Just stay alive in towards Art while his team is still getting that progression over towards A. It sets up the pinch for Shotzi. See, now earns that cruise. That's 3 dead in the feed. Last player up is Kismet. He does take him off for that point, but he's the last player there. The close spawns are coming in for the NYSL. But it's all about Shotzi. He's just causing them so many problems in towards Art, already on a 7 spree and still going.
You can just see, I mean, you can just see how easy it makes his teammates' lives when he's in a position like that. However, just as we call it, NYSL, as soon as they cut away Shotzi, you can see the freedom that it gives them now to just instantly challenge over at that A zone. And I'm sure now for Shotzi, Jake, not only does he want to hop on the objective, he just wants to get back in the base for Subliners, get behind enemy lines. The task, though, is that just does not happen very often. But when it does, sometimes you can earn a spree. Can Shotzi do anything with this? So you can see the trophies absolutely there. NYSL survived that streak, and now with 30 seconds left to go, as long as they don't give another segment away, they are looking good for round 5.
Yeah, Shotzi was just trying to invest that cruise missile so he can at least try to complete that last segment over towards A, but New York were ready for it. Trophies were down, and they have kept the trap going. So with only 15 seconds left, no Optic players are out of the spawn, except for one, Shotzi, who potentially make a play right now.
In the route, he's just gonna have to find it. He's gonna have to make a play out of nothing. Hydra ends up cutting him away, but take a look at Ghosty. Ghosty has managed to make his way over at that B zone. 3 seconds on the clock and some change. He drops. And can anybody from Texas get to A? No, they will not. And in the process of the final stages of that round, not only have New York locked up defense on round 5, Jay, but I want to say Priesta ended up adding a 6th kill. So he's going to have a cruise missile running into this final round.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure New York now have 2 cruise missiles to work with. One in the hand of Kismet, one now in the hand of Priesta. You have those 2 missiles to work with, and you just have to hold strong on defense. Optic need to find something. You need to get your SMGs to roam in towards Art and cause problems like they did early on in that round. But it's all going to be about these initial fights, man. You don't want to get put in the trap early and then allow New York to use those cruise missiles to eventually close out this game. Optic need to find something right now.
They do indeed. By no means in a position to succeed, but we'll see what they can do in a spot like this. As we said, versus Minnesota, they were down.
Oh, man.
They were down coming into that round 5, but they answered in the attack, but that is not the way that you want to start off a round. A clean 4 down for NYSL as they look to answer with even more kills. Kismet now we're in a spot to try to cut them off once more. Jay, this is the worst spot that you could possibly be in. This is the spawn trap and a half right now for New York.
Yeah, and Hydra also picks up another cruise missile. So now there's 3 cruise missiles to work with on the side of New York, but they might not even have the opportunity to invest them. They're just keeping the guns up, keeping them in the trap. Optic have yet to find any openings as they're just getting cut down left and right. Hydra just staying alive in towards maps. The first cruise is going to get called in, so you get the information, but he finds himself another 2 on a 10 spree. Only 25 seconds left, and Optic are gonna be out 3-0. They need to find something now.
They absolutely do, but yeah, I mean, Hydra's having fun. Like, he's just having a blast. That is now 12.
Oh, wow.
It's like players are not even shooting back. My God, here comes another cruise missile just for good measure. Kismet, you can see it with intensity on his face. Actually ends up cutting down a teammate, but that will be a 3-0 in the books.
3-0 NYSL kill Optic.
Have confirmed
Wow.
a winner's bracket position.
And Optic has to go play FaZe tomorrow. They could be looking real chalked going into Major 3. Alright, that's going to do it for this one. We will see you guys tomorrow for Mo CDL action. Much love, guys.